Well, they say a boy's first experience with trust is his mother. And if that trust is broken, it doesn't just wound him, it teaches him to question the safety of every woman who comes after her. You're tuned in to the series Men Being Human, His Inner Critic, with real men, real stories, real emotions. Well, I asked him, what does your inner critic sound like? And he said, I don't think of it as a critic. It's protective. It tells me you're not insecure and you're not a fool either. Kind of like the motto, sleep with one eye open. Well, he's a 41-year-old, polished, well-groomed gentleman, a nonprofit professional and entrepreneur. He's a single man with one child, the kind of man people would assume that's steady and stable. But the inner man always has a story to tell. So he told me he grew up between two homes, his mother's house and his grandparents' home. And the way he said it made it very clear. His grandparents' home is where he felt chosen, and his mother's house is where he felt optional. He said, my mom was always somewhere chasing a man. And somewhere in that chasing, I stopped believing I was even worth her time. He remembers watching his family collapse. He said his mother cheated on his father with someone they both knew, and that's when trust stopped making sense to him. And as a boy, he would listen to his mother and his aunts. He heard them laugh about using men and having multiple men and getting what they needed out of them. He said, that's all I knew women to be, was users, manipulators, and cheaters. So of course his inner voice adapted, and it asserted as he began to date, don't ever be a fool for any of these women. Well, he told me about a time he lived with a girlfriend and a technician needed to enter their home. He said, I wouldn't let them be there alone, not because she gave me reason, but because my inner voice whispered, you know how this could go. He wasn't protecting himself from a potential cheater. He was protecting himself from his past. Now, at the age of 29, he said he met someone very peculiar, that she had standards and boundaries. They planned a weekend getaway, and before the trip, she told him plainly, if you're expecting to have sex, we don't need to go. We can even get separate beds if that'll help. He then told me something that seemed very small, but to him, it was everything. He said she wore underwear under her sleepwear, and that was modest. And I asked him, why did that matter so much? And I quote, it showed me she respected herself. If she was like that with me, I knew she wasn't for everybody. And for the first time, his inner critic didn't have evidence, only fear. Well, they dated long distance, and distance gave his inner voice room to speak louder. It reminded him, women can't be trusted. You're not insecure, so don't be a fool. So he did what self-protection taught him to do. He detached, he ghosted her, he abandoned the one person who could be trusted. And when he realized that he tried to circle back, it was too late. He thought his inner voice was protecting him from women, but it was really preventing him from relieving the wounds his mother left behind. His hypervigilance wasn't about untrustworthy girlfriends. It was about a boy who witnessed men being misused and where he learned love could disappear without warning. His inner critic never hated him. It protected him the only way it knew how, and by making sure he would never be a foolish man himself, even if it meant he would never fully love. This is the short stories of men being human. Real men, real stories, real emotions.